Welcome to another Highly Questionable. What do you like on the show today, Bomani?
Cleveland, still mad.
Vamos, Papi.
Are you surprised by the overwhelmingly rosy coverage of the Rays trip to Cuba?
I wouldn't call it rosy as much as I would call it naive. Diplomacy of this sort is always going to be somewhat imperfect, and it's going to trample the feelings of a few. In this case, it would be people like my father, a Cuban exile, who fled an evil regime that was lifted by a lifetime of lies and ends up still being in charge now as we play patty cake with a dictator who happens to be our Hitler. It hurts to a small pocket of Cuban-Americans, but America celebrates it, and so that part makes it hurt and makes it feel a little extra lonely.
I think the important part to remember is American attitudes about these matters of foreign policy normally comes from the top down. So at the time where relations with Cuba were bad and contentious and the government wanted you to feel that way, that's how people wound up feeling. Now there's this feeling that things are opening up. It's presented as though it is something positive, so most people are then going to treat it as something positive. This is how we deal with foreign policy as people in this country, now, before, and forever.
Papi, I know you don't like to get too political, but do you have anything that you would like to say to the people of Cuba? Is there anything that you would want them to hear?
Not to the people of Cuba, to the political dissidents in Cuba, that they don't have a voice in this process. You know, these are the real heroes in that island, you know, that this has been killed by communism and the Castro thugs, you know. Those are the people that they are the real heroes, you know, the ones that they go out and they march peacefully in the street and they're attacked by the Secret Service of Castro. The ones that are in jail that they have nothing to say and they're beaten up and they live in hell, you know. Those are the ones that I feel sorry for them, you know. And I hope that something good come out of it, but I doubt it very much.
Well, that got serious.
So it's like Castro, technical term.
Well, yeah, I don't know what he said. I wanted to make fun of Castro.
The Castro thugs.
Oh, thugs.
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 Castro thugs, he said.
Thugs.
Thugs.
Thugs, yes.
Thugs. Thugs. Castro's thugs.
Does your precious little Steph Curry need the rest?
Ooh, got a little dicey last night for the Warriors. Almost lost the game to the Minnesota Timberwolves. And Steph Curry, well, he didn't look good against the Spurs. He didn't look good last night. Last night, 6 for 17 from the field, 2 for 9 from 3. In the last 2 fourth quarters, he has not made a three-pointer. That raises the question as to whether or not he is simply exhausted. But if there's any team that manages rest well, it's the Warriors on their futuristic stuff with the devices that check your energy level during practices and games and everything else. So if they think he needs a rest, he probably needs a rest. If they say he doesn't, I'm guessing he doesn't. But they're also chasing 73 wins.
He says he doesn't need a rest. He says this has nothing to do with fatigue. He's put the bar in a pretty high place when 2 games, 3 for 21 is something that we're lamenting and wondering whether he should rest about. This might happen at the end of a season, toward the end of a road trip. A guy with a jumper might miss some of the jumpers, and it might not have anything to do with fatigue. It might not have anything to do with tired legs. It might just have to do with, hey, every once in a while, if you take 21 threes, you're going to miss 18 of them.
Or he might be hurt. I think like the speculation is a lot more fun than all this, you know, statistical averages, these things happen sort of stuff, right?
That's reckless right there.
I said he might be hurt. What's reckless about Mike?
Ankles.
Ain't nothing reckless about Mike. See,
ankles.
he said ankles.
He's hurt.
He said ankles. I thought he might have a torn labrum in his hip.
I think that the one who has to take a break is Steph Curry. You know, I don't know. I mean, they were doing better when he was absent. You know, now that he's back, they're having with all kind of problems.
We need to make Luke Walton Coach of the Year. We really do need to make that happen. Let's make sure he gets that award, please.
By the way, when he says Steve Kerr, I never know if he's actually talking about Steve Kerr or he means to say Steph Curry or vice versa.
Always confusing.
It took me a while to figure out where he was going with that.
And he never knows either.
Should Cavs fans freak out because LeBron unfollowed them on Twitter and Instagram?
Why would you freak out? He would never leave you, right? That's not something he would ever do. He's from there. Why would he ever? Oh, that's why you freak out. Let's listen to this sound. The reporters sound so scared, so deferential. There's a haunting, creaking door in the locker room, too, in the background. There's a PR person who's a useless echo in this. This is great.
LeBron, you may not like this one, and I'm not thrilled asking it. I'm obviously trying to diffuse this a little bit, but it appears that you unfollowed the Cavs on Twitter today, and it's caused quite a stir. Why did you do that, or what would go into that?
Next question.
You've had 38 assists tonight. That's a season high. Is this something you can take forward to the next game?
I'm done.
You gotta be kidding me. First of all, the level of deference for that question. LeBron, I know you're not gonna like this very much, and I don't really want to ask you about it and everything else. Like, he runs things up there in such an amazing way. And since he is so passive aggressive and he's used social media to communicate in so many ways, you can't be mad at us when we wonder whether or not you're doing something slick. Well, we all know that you love to use social media to do slick stuff.
And he's passive aggressive, and this is passive aggressive. My favorite part is reporter coming in looking to diffuse the situation, apologizing for diffusing the situation, a situation that resulted in him coming to a fire with a hose full of what he thought was water that was actually gas, because LeBron made all of that much worse than it was before he even started to ask the question.
Even though we all know he can't leave, because if he leaves, they're going to have to diffuse something else.
He would never leave. Why would he ever leave? He's from there. He wouldn't do that. And coming to Miami, he wouldn't do that. He didn't unfollow Dwayne Wade.
The Cleveland reporter, Aaron Goldhammer, make any fair points in his rant about Miami Heat fans?
All right, my good buddy Aaron Goldhammer, he hosts a show on ESPN Radio in Cleveland. I'd give you more information about it, but it come on the same time my show does. Anyway, they're still a little bit salty up there about the whole LeBron Cleveland thing. They're kind of weird roots between people from Cleveland helping to found the city of Miami. It's a lot going on, and it manifests itself in ways like this.
Really, it comes across like you're being a bunch of bullies. You know, yes, you've got the rings. Congratulations. You've got the banners. For you guys to be all bitter at LeBron, I don't totally understand why that is. I feel like them at South Beach, they think they deserve everything because they have the nice weather and the good restaurants and that everyone should want to go there and be there. You got to understand, in Cleveland, we haven't won a championship in Cleveland since 1964. I can't even count how many championships Miami has won since then. We're just trying to get one, okay? And rubbing that in our faces with the superficial, materialistic attitude that you bring to it, it's just obnoxious, okay? Y'all are obnoxious. Look, I know, you guys are probably rich and you've got son, but in the end, the world judges you by how you treat other people, and Heat Nation in general. You're superficial fans to begin with. You're just obnoxious. So congratulations on all your titles, but you're not great fans, and most of all, you're not great people. So you've got to go to bed every night with that on your mind.
I mean, mostly fair, I think. I mean, I don't like the not great people part, and we don't go to bed with that on our mind because we're all partying all night at the superficial, materialistic nightclubs thinking about all those trophies we've won, not surrounded by losers.
One thing I would like to know, by the way, people who talk about how great they are as fans typically live in miserable places. The nicer the place is, the less likely you are to think those people are great sports fans. As for the great people part of the program, Aaron,
come on,
we didn't forget. Roll that footage of people setting stuff on fire.
Yeah.
Where are the good people?
Yes. How
What
about the urinal cakes with his face on them?
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Where are the great people that you are talking about here?
Fires put out with urine.
Yeah, there you go. If only they could be like those guys here. What are you doing?
I'm looking for something for Aaron Goldhammer.
What are you doing?
Looking for something for him. Oh, I found it. Here it is.
Oh, no. There it is. Yeah. There, you found it. I thought there were two of them.
Does RG3 to the Browns seem like a good idea to you?
I'm sorry. I'm still laughing at the last question. Sure, it seems like a good idea. They need a quarterback. He's cheap. You don't really have to trade anything for him. And maybe Hugh Jackson can fix him. Hugh Jackson tends to be pretty good with quarterbacks. If you don't have to give up anything, that's about as good as you're going to do in the open market if you don't have a quarterback. That said, I have no idea what he is in this state. Physically, no idea.
Yeah, you asked the question as to whether or not it's a good idea. Good idea for whom? It's not a bad idea for Cleveland. What the hell else are they going to do after all? Is it a good idea for Robert Griffin? It's either the best idea he's ever had or the worst idea he's ever had, because he needs to go to the place with the guy that's probably going to make him the best quarterback. That is, in all likelihood, Hugh Jackson. You'd also think he needs to go to a place where he's going to get some level of patience. That ain't Cleveland. And if Hugh Jackson makes this move and Robert Griffin is the starter, I salute what might be happening. He's on defense, and Robert Griffin will be your quarterback. There will be no patience for you guys. Just so you know, there will be no patience.
What are you saying, Bomani?
There will be no patience. There will be no patience.
Yeah. I mean, I think the cornrows gave it away, no?
Yeah, there's definitely going to be no patience for that. He ain't got those no more.
Coming up next on Highly Questionable.
Nuggets and Cavs last night. I'm guessing he plays for the Nuggets. I don't know who plays for them, but I know he's not on the Cavs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh!
Yeah. Stare down LeBron.
Oh!
Stare him down. This has been a rough show for LeBron.
Wow.
Time to play the game that smells a strange odor.
Do you question?
You give us topics and events, and we question why Dan smells so bad.
Do you question if what Joseph Nurkic did this fair game?
Yusuf Nurkic, he plays for the Nuggets. There's Nuggets and Cavs last night. I'm guessing he plays for the Nuggets. I don't know who plays for them, but I know he's not on the Cavs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh!
Yeah. Stare down LeBron.
Oh!
Stare him down. This has been a rough show for LeBron.
Wow.
You'd think they'd lost by 30 yesterday instead of winning by 30.
I tell you this, though. Bet he wouldn't have done that to no Matt Barnes. We know how that ends if you do that to Matt Barnes.
Well, LeBron didn't have any of it, though. He ended up dunking on him later in the game.
Well, you better be careful, Joseph. Otherwise, LeBron is going to follow you on Twitter.
Yeah.
You know, that's how he gets back to his enemies, you know?
Yes, you better be careful, Joseph Nurkic.
How can you unfollow him on Twitter if you don't know his name? Does LeBron know that dude's
It
name?
is Yusef.
Do you question the red team's reaction to this bad call?
Oh, these are always my favorite. When we don't know anything about a team, it's just a red team. Now, I'm told this is low-level Romanian soccer, but there's just a red team doing something it shouldn't be doing. Let's see the grainy Romanian footage.
What league is this?
Oh, that was wide. That was wide. This is why you need referees. That was not in the goal. A goal without a net.
Why are we calling this a league?
That's because
That's at somebody's house.
that was so wide. And what a delayed fakery from the whitish blue team. Look at this guy. Yeah. What's the red team going to do now?
They'll kick the ball too far for anybody to go get it.
What happened? They just gave up.
They quit?
Oh, yeah, there's a protest situation here.
Hold on. There's got to be a fight coming, right?
Why are there no red people doing anything?
Oh, just you wait.
Yeah, they just quit.
Oh.
They just quit.
Wow.
Yeah, that.
Now I question them doing that because them doing that made him do that.
Do you question if this guy should feel proud after his workout?
All they told us was look in the foreground and in the background. So look everywhere.
All right.
Hey, let's cross the street.
That is right here. That's a good eye by Bomani. Oh, yeah, this guy's doing push-ups, and then this guy in the
Wow.
background is going to be much greater at everything. Oh, I've been there. Every gym I walk into in South Florida, that's what everyone's doing.
What's up with old buddy though in them blue pants who's just so mesmerized by my man at the parallel bars? He doesn't know what to do. Imagine what would happen if he turned around and saw my man who can't even do a push-up. How disappointed he would be. What a letdown that would be.
And that's the reason I don't work out. You know, I don't want to make a fool of myself. Like that guy doing the push-ups, you know?
Well, we walk by
That's
those
right.
guys every day on our ways to fried stuff, tempura.
I don't work out because it'll mess up your jump shot.
A condo, a cabin, I sleep in my phantom. So high dancing with the stars to the Star-Spangled Banner. I change your channel, I change your pattern, I ring your Saturn. I hit your madam, she get on top and I shake the ladder.
I played a salmon in Cayman Islands, a stripper dancer. If I don't get the car first, I have a tantrum. I'm innovative, I demonstrated, your nickel plated. I don't care if you owe me a nick, shawty, you need to pay me.
I can make it bounce by myself. I can make it bounce by myself. I can make it bounce by myself. Comes from the Clevelander Hotel on beautiful South Beach, Miami. Time to play the game that has a favorite song. See or no?
Favorite son or favorite song? You tell us what's on television tonight. We tell you if we're intrigued or not.
On TNT, Thunder and Rockets.
Sure, this will be a fun game, up and down. Steven Adams, does he still have a gold tooth? Do we know if he still got it?
You don't tend to stop.
All right, so he's got a gold tooth. He is a samurai, and this is what he has to say about how you foul DeAndre Jordan and Dwight Howard.
But how hard is it to wrap up a DeAndre Jordan, a Dwight Howard before they get up?
DeAndre's harder because he's sharper, so that just he's not as muscly as Dwight. Mm-hmm. So Dwight's got cushion. So DeAndre's his elbows hurt, bro. Really, they're sharp. They hurt a lot. So that's what's the tough thing is to be okay, hold on, anywhere. Manhood could be gone like that, man. It's.
Okay, so DeAndre is made of cleavers. He's sharper. Bomani, are you intrigued?
I am intrigued and surprised to hear the Tooth say that something causes him pain because this is the dude who stays getting hit in the face and seems impervious to its effects.
Papi, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued. Do you recognize his accent?
Oh,
that's an Australian accent. Got an Australian accent too.
Right. Really?
Mate, I can play basketball all the way through, mate. Yeah, I mean, I can really get rough and I can bring those big guys down because I got what it takes, And especially when I threw a shrimp on Barbie, I'm telling you something, mate. Serious. I'm up for the. What?
What? Now, who's he talking to?
Steven Adams, by the way, is from New Zealand.
He's still in character. He's asking what of one of the producers.
Oh, from New Zealand? Yeah, I got in New Zealand. I said, right? Yeah, are you kidding me? Oh, yeah. I came down the tough way. I came all the way from the bottom up, to get to the NBA. Nothing was given to me. Serious.
You sounded like Drake at the end of that.
On Comcast Mid-Atlantic, Capitals and Senators.
Capitals are really good, but they're looking to avoid their fourth straight road loss. They've only lost 15 times this season, so the idea that they're consecutively losing is strange. What do we have here, though? A recent Capitals game against Pittsburgh. That's a pretty good goal right there. Is that Tom Barrasso for the Penguins? No, I'm sorry, that was 15 years ago, Tom Barrasso.
I think you're thinking more like 23, 24.
Okay, more than that. Very good. That's a good goal. That's bad goalkeeping. Did he score that with his shoulder? Yeah, he kind of did. Bomani, are you intrigued? His head.
Okay, what did you think?
Yeah.
What is there for me to say? What
really.
do I have here?
Not really. And if you thought that was bad, wait till you hear this. Papi, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very intrigued because I'm telling you something. The owner of the Senator is planning big changes, but the Senators, they are going to send a message tonight. They are going to say, even though we're not going to make it to the playoff, we're going to go out with a bang. We don't want no more changes in this place. We got what it takes to make it to the playoff next year. So you can expect a big win from the Senators tonight.
He said the same thing I did, just using a lot more words.
Oh, yeah?
On HBO, Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel.
Yeah, I always say yes to this, and then I never actually watch it. What do we got here?
This is Mavericks, a patch of sea south of San Francisco, which on the rarest occasions, for just a few precious hours at a time, erupts like a volcano, shooting up giant waves at 50 feet or more. For surfers, the result is somewhere between a dream and a nightmare.
You skip, you slide, you start spinning, then the thrashing comes and it feels like King Kong's got a hold of your feet and they're just like swinging you around like a rubber chicken.
Ken Collins is one of 24 competitors here for the Titans of Mavericks, an invite-only contest to see who can surf Mavericks the best in a single day and survive.
Do you get a sense of how fast you're going?
Somewhere around 37 to 45.
37 to 45 miles an hour. And what does that feel like when you hit the water?
Oh, it feels like cement.
Yeah, this may not be surprising to you. Not much of a surfer. Don't like to surf ocean volcanoes. That water back there right now, too rough for me. That what right there, I wouldn't want to surf on it. Bomani, are you intrigued?
I was surfing this summer in Costa Rica. I found it to be very, very enjoyable and a lot harder than it looks on television.
Especially when it's in an ocean volcano. Papi, are you intrigued?
Oh, see, I'm very cheap. Well, let me give him a piece of advice to that surfer there. You know, to make it big, you got to stay on that board at all times, you know. The moment you fall off the board, you know, then you got a chance, you know. So you got, make sure you stay on that board. You know, I'm telling you, this is an advice for an old surfer.
Excellent advice.
That was really helpful.
Not at all.
You can get my instructional video.
Yeah,
you
right,
know, I
yes.
got a video on how to surf. You
yes,
know, I have to stay on the board.
Right. It's just him telling you over and over again, don't fall off the board.
That's right. Stretch your arm, keep your balance. You know, dance as much as you can, but never fall off the board.
Dance as much as you can. Dance.
You got to fool the wave.
Okay, fool the waves.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching.
Back tomorrow, back on ESPN. Thanks for watching.
Gracias. I might be on The Daily Show tonight. Watch it.
Yeah.
Wow. Surf's up.
Oh, look out. Careful. Look at that. Oh, those wires are going to electrocute him. Be careful, Papi.